Welcome to the official YouTube channel for the Wide Nation of Sports by Hunter Tickle. Hit that subscribe button for first access to exclusive behind the scenes interviews from the NFL, NBA, and college hoops and more. And remember, folks, talks over takes. I'm going to start this pod off with a rundown of the Americans and what they did in France at the 2024 Olympics. I'm calling them the Olympic Games OGs. And here is the Americans' 90-second Paris picture. Let's go. The Stars and Stripes were supreme in these games, 126 medals, tied with China with 40 gold. Three NBA vets, LeBron, Steph, and KD, staved off Serbia and France for a fifth straight gold. U.S. women's soccer is back. They went for gold for the first time in 12 years, courtesy of Triple Espresso. Women's hoops left another arena of Frenchmen heartbroken with an eighth straight gold. U23 men's soccer reached the knockout round for the first time since Sydney in 2000. With 3 gold medals and a silver in France, that's cash earnings of 135 stacks. Simone Biles further cemented herself as the GOAT with 11 career medals. Men's gymnastics got back to the podium for the first time since 2008. In track and field, the U.S. won 34 medals, 7 gold. Noel Lyles dusted the competition, more like a photo finish. Cole Hawker had a first-place stunner in the 1,500 meter. Sydney McCall-Lavorne is legit. She went gold twice in the 400-meter hurdles to repeat at the Olympics as well as the 4x400 relay. Rugby women's 7 got their first ever medal with a walk-off truck stick. Gold to women pursuit cycling, artistic swimming medaled. Weightlifter Hampton Morris medaled. In the pool, Katie Ledecky proved to be the female version of Michael Phelps with 4 medals. She now has 14 total. Breakdancing is now a sport, and Paralympic Games began 8/28. I want to take a step back and go to the semifinal game the U.S. had against Serbia. Thought it was a pretty well-contested game. Did see a bit of a slow start from the U.S., kind of a little bit of lackadaisical in terms of Serbia being on their P's and Q's for getting in passing lanes, putting some a bit of a disturbance, forcing some turnovers, getting some runouts, getting open in transition, getting open the wings for some threes. They did get hot. That was always going to be the best way that Serbia was going to potentially upset the U.S. and they got up double digits, held that double digits for a while. Joker played really well. I will say that the game plan from the U.S. to go out Joker with Embiid and tire him out a bit, I think did pay dividends at the end. I do think Joker was pretty gassed there to close the game when the U.S. was making the run, and they got it done. Steph Curry finally woke up at these Olympic Games. It was just in time to get them to skate by to the final. I thought maybe Serbia probably likely was the biggest threat. The likes of Brogdon and Joker were the biggest threat to the U.S. to potentially knock them out of these games, and semifinals would have been detrimental because that would have been playing for bronze after that point. And I don't think the Americans would have liked to have done that if they would have even put forth a good effort there for the third place game. So they moved on to the final, got to the final with France, the host nation. Again, this is a game that the U.S. were pretty much in control of for most of it, up within arm's length, 9-10 most of the game. And then again, Chef Curry did business, got to work, started hitting threes, lofting them, in his groove, I should say, in his bag. And then he also was pump faking, taking a dribble, putting it up, sinking them, true Curry fashion. I thought at the end of the Serbia game, Embiid came up big with some timely plays, blocks, dunk. In this game, you had just Steph Curry being the guy. You had, again, the floor general being LeBron, kind of dictating the pace, dictating the movement of the guys, and making sure that everyone's getting the ball and everyone was, in rhythm and getting into a spot where they could, hit shots. And LeBron was just doing what he could do, his playmaking. So the U.S. got it done. It was night, they should say. I think it was 9-9, or I forget how you say it in French, but U.S. got it done, and Steph Curry was definitely the man of the hour in the semifinals and the finals. There's a picture out there circulating of him I believe, hitting this three, but getting off a three on the wing over Wembayama, who looks about 3 times the length and height and everything, just 3 times the size of Curry there. As outstrips arms getting up to block the shot, but Curry getting that release off and getting it up and over him. Thought that was picturesque for sure. And then you saw in the aftermath of all this, you saw the end, I believe, of probably Kevin Durant, KD, LeBron James, and Steph Curry playing together. Maybe the end of their Olympic Games. Maybe the last time they'll potentially win a championship of any kind of notoriety or significance. It's no knock to them. When you've been around for as long as those guys have been around, this is their era. They are those guys. I saw some tweets circulating saying that this is the golden generation, but it's really just the gold generation because they won so many golds at the Olympics. That's now 5 straight for Team USA. I believe Durant was a part of a handful of those as well as LeBron. I think this would have been the first or second one for Chef Curry. And it just felt like they really wanted it. The old guys lacing them up for 6 big games here at the Olympics, and hats off to them. They got it done. I will comment and say that being American, it's good to see them win it, get the mission accomplished. But I will say that it was kind of like watching. It felt like a power conference team in college basketball equated to that. A college basketball powerhouse, a blue blood, Kansas, Duke, Kentucky, getting it done against a mid-major. So, take that with a grain of salt. Take that with what you will. They got it done. Honestly, I felt like at parts of this, it was kind of a no-win situation. They get it done. They're supposed to. They're an all-star team, NBA all-star caliber players. But we'll never know what people would have said if they didn't get it done because they stepped in between the lines and made sure they stood on business. So, it's going to be interesting. 2028 Olympics are in LA, La La Land, Hollywood. What kind of continuation you have from this crew? I'm not so sure Jason Tatum wants to be a part of the Olympic team again. Does he need to be guaranteed a starter spot for the next one for him to come out? And then you think the likes of like Devin Booker will be back, as well as maybe Anthony Davis, but he's getting up there in age and he's brittle. And then you got guys like I think Tyrese Halliburton will be back. I just heard, by the way, there's reports out that he had a bit of a leg issue, and so that kind of might have factored into the Olympics. I don't know how much time he would have gotten, but kind of got to figure that could be potentially a factor for why just his playing time went as it did at the Olympic Games. And then you have Drew Holiday. We'll see if he's going to be back. I don't think Embiid will be back. It's just he's getting up there. He's in his 30s now, and he's a little bit of a injury-prone player who's probably going to be looking to get that NBA ring, like LeBron's got 5 of them, or no, LeBron's got 4, I should say. Curry has now 4. Tatum's got his 1 ring. KD has 2. So these guys have their rings now. They got another Olympic gold to add to that mantle, add to that hardware, and it's gonna be interesting to see the new potential talent come through the ranks. Maybe Cooper Flagg. It might be a little premature for him. We'll see. He might be on that kind of Caitlin Clark up and coming kind of stage for getting into the next games. And then maybe Paulo Banchero. There was some other names I've been hearing potentially to forecast for the 2028 Olympics. Could be John Morant, maybe Zion Williamson. I don't know. You just don't know where these guys are going to be and if they can get some playing time and stay healthy in the NBA. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe that'll be a nice pod to kind of forecast the dozen going to LA for the next Olympic Games. I do know that, though, I will say this. With LeBron, Steph Curry, and as well as KD kind of passing the torch. I forgot Anthony Edwards. I think Anthony Edwards will be a staple of that next team. Passing the torch to guys like that, I think that the U.S. might struggle a bit. I think that this is the end of 3 greats playing the game. Enjoy them now. Enjoy these moments. I do think the field is continually getting more even from the European teams and some of the South American teams. So we'll see kind of what competition U.S. has on home soil for the next Olympic Games. And I will comment on this. The women's soccer team got the job done with a gold medal finish at the Olympics. It's great to see them back on top. It's been 12 years since they won the Olympics. Last summer at the World Cup, they bowed out in the round of 16, so that from them to go from the second round of the tournament, the World Cup, to a championship in the Olympic Games, I think it's huge. Kind of revitalizes, kind of reinvigorates the women's team and kind of gets them back on that level of like, that's the expectation is first. They did knock off Germany in the group stage 4-1, and then they got it done with a squeaker 1-0 in the knockout rounds. So they beat Germany twice. The Germans actually ended up getting the bronze, and then they beat the Brazilians in the championship game. So, you know, the U.S. did it in a lot of dramatic fashion. Some nice, smooth, slick, extra time goals to lead up into the gold medal game. But it's good to see them back on top. And, you know, you see a lot of new emerging talent. You know, kind of like I was saying with the men's basketball, they're going to have people come in. Well, the U.S., you're seeing new faces step up, new people being coined. You got the trio, the triple espresso, the attacking leaders. They're now called that's their nickname. That's what they were coined. They actually think they coined that themselves, I believe. And so, yeah, good to see them do that. And then one more thing on the men's U23 team. I do think that they're going to be happy with kind of what they did. Now, it was mixed results. They did have three goal losses. France, the home team, and Morocco, a team with some steady players from the team that went, some overage players that went to the Final Four, the last World Cup there in Qatar. So, yeah, it was kind of a mixed bag. 2 wins, which had never been done at the Olympics by the men, by 3 goals each, and then 2 losses by 3 goals. So kind of an up and down kind of performances. But I do think there's some guys that are going to move into the men's national team ranks. We'll see how that goes. And then just looking forward to some more, previewing some more of the podcast that I'll be releasing here. We're looking at getting some feedback, do some one-on-ones with some of the athletes from the Americans that went over there to Paris for the Olympics, weightlifting, wrestling, as well as swimming, and then maybe even some runners. And so thanks for tuning in, guys. Please subscribe to the channel here on YouTube. Go ahead, hit that button, and I just want to appreciate y'all for tuning in. We're gonna have more steady content coming your way, and we'll definitely have some reaction to when the U.S. potentially hire a new coach for men's soccer, U.S. men's national team, which is definitely needed and still on the books. Still out there. Still, someone needs to ink their name and take charge of the team heading into the World Cup in 2 years.